already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. John Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
So y'all might be confused as to why we're sitting in the car. So truth is, came to the studio and the power was out. We had a really bad storm, and so we improvising. So we're gonna take a little trip. We got Kelly Cole in the building with us today. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
So all right, let's
We making it happen.
We got gas in the tank.
Yes. And we live too. We
I
live.
figure out how to drive Jerry's car.
Trackstarz Drive
We do driver tag.
with Kelly Cole.
That's it. All
We gotta have drive to be this. Everybody don't get this too. Let y'all know that. Everybody don't get this. Love that. Everybody don't get
We
this.
would have been right at home if it was anybody else. Hey, bro, sorry it didn't work out.
I appreciate it.
All right, so
Maybe next trip.
if you just joining us, the reason we're in a car is because the power's out at the studio. But we had to talk to our guy Kelly Cole. He's in town, hanging out with us today. Kelly, man,
Yes.
talk to him. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad we're making this happen. I feel special.
You are special, bro.
I feel special.
Yo, Jerry's car is so cool. It's like a hologram image of the speed on the in the distance of my view. That's crazy. So, Kelly Cole, man. All right, so it's been a while since you've been in studio with us.
Yes.
What you been doing since the last time you were here?
Man, writing and publishing books. And with the new book coming out, I was like, man, the first place I want to go is Trackstarz. So that's why we're here, man. I was like, that's the first one.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you really gave us a lot of game on the book world last time we talked to you.
Yes.
I know that's something me, Ryan, and Jeremiah have really been thinking about, like how to write a book. You know, somebody told us, one of our old managers told us we got to get a book going. What's your advice, man? Like, how, for the people who've never written a book, how do you just start down that journey?
Yeah, the biggest thing I always say is just start with an outline. And it's that simple. Like, just make a list of the things that you want to cover in your book.
Yep.
Here's what messes people up. They feel like they have to write the book in the order that they wrote the outline, and that's not true. So think about going to the grocery store. If you're a smart shopper, you make a list before you go to the store.
Yeah.
Now, when you come home, you don't cook the food in the order that you put it in the buggy. Same way with a book. You look at the list, and each day what you feel like talking about or writing about, that's what you write about that day. And at the end, it all comes together. But that's the easiest way to do it. And don't think about writing, record. That's what I always do. I record my chapters, transcribe, then I tighten them up.
Oh man. So what is the, like, a book that's so, like, if somebody's a first time author, what's a book that you would be like what's something that they could start off with? Should they start off with a big, like, a lot of pages first, or a small page, a paperback, or what should they start off with?
You should start off with, like, I wouldn't even focus on the number of pages, but if you actually want somebody to read it, the sweet spot is about 150 pages, if you want them to read it. But I always say I look at a book as a big business card, because only 20% of the people is actually going to actually read it anyway.
Gotcha.
For me, this stands out more than me handing you a business card. And here's a fact. Business cards, postcards, all that stuff, people throw away, but a book we never throw away. I don't care how many times you move, change offices, you pack up all your books and they make it to your next destination. Every time they pick up that book, they're going to think about you.
Dope, man. That's dope.
So talk about this one. What is this one about?
So, man, this one is where's the cat? This one is called this one, man, it's kind of like my life work. My favorite so far is called Raising Aaron Cole, Life Lessons of a Father Who Sacrificed for His Son's Dream. So I get a lot of questions, as you can imagine, like, how did we do it? How did we meet Toby? How did, I recognize Aaron's gift? How did we do all the things that we did? And I just decided, like, I'm going to put it in a book, like, especially with me writing books and stuff like that. But it's telling the whole journey from the day Aaron was born to the day I saw him rapping Like all the pitfalls, all of the stuff that people want to know. And some things that we never even talked about, I put them in the book. That's what it's about.
You mentioned that it was a sacrifice. Talk about some of the sacrifices that you had to make. What were some of the biggest ones that you can recall?
Yeah, biggest ones was I couldn't focus on my business. So I remember when Aaron came home in 7th grade and he said, "Dad, this is what I want to do with my life." And I was like, "Okay, I got you." And I had lunch with my dad and I was like, "Look, this is what Aaron wants to do." I said, "I'm going to kind of do my business on the side, but I'm going to go all in with him." So sacrificing my dreams, my goals, my visions in order to make his come true. And also the sacrifice of time. So everywhere he went, I drove him. You know, we drove all over the country. And that's what we do. Like you said, I got up today and drove here because I've been doing it for over 15 years. Like, we go and make stuff happen. The summer before he signed his first deal, we were home 6 days out of 3 months. His 3-month summer, we was home 6 days. We were literally in the van, going from city to city, from town to town, and just moving the needle, getting those reps. So time, sacrifice away from home and the family and all of that. So everything, money, resources, anything you can think of. Sacrifice sleep.
Yeah.
So I would drive to, say, like if we drove to Alabama, they would be asleep or playing video games. I would be editing somebody's book or formatting a book or designing a book cover. So just doing whatever I could to, pay the bills and also keep his dream going.
So it just draws another question up. When you make that type of sacrifice, is this you hearing clearly the voice of God telling you to do this, or is this something you stepped out on faith and you were like, "God, carry me along the way"? Because, I have 4 children and I'm thinking to myself, they come home one day and they say they want to be an astronaut. The next week they come back and they say they want to be a doctor. Then they come back and say they want to be a dancer. How did you know to take Aaron seriously? I mean, I know he's been rapping since he was 4 years old. Yeah. So you saw there was a talent there. But how did you know to take this seriously to the point where you put your, grown man aside?
100%. I mean, I think a father knows.
Okay.
It was the conviction not only in his voice and what he had been doing. Like you said, he had been doing it since he was 4.
Yeah.
Now he was, 12, 13, and he decided, like, "Yo, this is what I want to do with my life." And I said, "Okay, if this is really what you want to do, I got you, but you're going to go through my boot camp." So before we went all in, he had to go through a boot camp. So if you really want to do something, you don't need no stage. I need you to run this hill and perform 30 minutes a day. When you're done with that, I need you to stand at the top of the hill and pretend like you're performing in front of a stadium. He did that for years. From the time he said in 7th grade, "This is what I want to do," until he moved out of my house. Every day he had to run the hill and perform his 30-minute set, and then he had to stand at the top of the hill and perform his 30-minute set, and he had to write me a song every day from the day he came home and told me this is what he wanted to do. And he did it. And we see the results.
Yeah, that's crazy. What is something that you would highly recommend somebody? What chapter in this book is one of the chapters that that you highly recommend? If one person, like if somebody saw your book at like a Barnes and Nobles or something, and they walking by, what chapter would you say, "Okay, this is the chapter right now you got to read"? Right. While you standing here, read this chapter.
My boot camp. So Mr. Cole's boot camp. Because it talks about the psychology behind, okay, you say you want to do this, but do you really want to do this? Because most people say they want to do stuff until you tell them what it's going to take for them to do it.
Right.
So it wasn't, okay, "Oh, Dad, I want to do this, I want to play around." No, if we're going to do it, we're not going to do it. I can't just do anything halfway. Like, you're not going to be successful at anything doing anything halfway. Like you said, when I came here, I drove here this morning, I said, "Yo, whatever it takes, we're going to get it done. We make it happen. We're in the car. And it don't matter to me. I feel just as good as we in the studio." But I would say read the chapter on Mr. Cole's boot camp, because it's going to help you develop that mindset and give you something like Aaron said. One of the things I always told him is, if you do the hard stuff now, your life will be easier. If you do all the easier stuff now, your life is going to be a lot harder. I don't care what it is that you want to do. Like, I didn't find my thing till I was 30. So I didn't find starting, a business on the internet, none of that until I was 30 years old. So I always tell people, like, it's never too late. I always knew I was going to be something, but I didn't know what I was going to be. But I found internet marketing, just walking in Books A Million one day, picked up a magazine that said, called Millionaire Blueprints, saw a guy on the cover in a drop top Mercedes. The caption read "Web Made Millionaire," and it talked about how he built these websites that made him money while he was sleeping. And I was like, yo, this is what I was put on earth to do. And I immediately started building websites and flipping websites. And that's how I started my business on the internet. I got into books from taking notes from Shark Tank. And one of my friends asked to borrow my notes and said, yo, this will make a great book. And they said, you should actually interview the sharks. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. I emailed all of the sharks, and Barbara Corcoran was the only one to email me back. I asked her to help me get an interview with Damon. She put me and Damon in the group text, said, hey, get this guy an interview. He's a great guy. I took those interviews along with my notes from the show, wrote my first book, and it became #1 on Amazon for about 2 weeks. So that's how I got into book publishing.
That's dope, man.
So basically, to go back to answering your question, whatever it is that you want to do, there's no excuses in this day and time, because I was when I started, this was before YouTube became YouTube, but now you have no excuses. You got YouTube, you got books, you got Audible, you got podcasts. Anything you want to learn how to do, there's a free way to learn how to do it, and there's a paid way to learn how to do it. If you can pay.
Okay. What about if you're older?
Yeah.
How do you do this if you don't have the luxury of time?
Whoa, you're gonna have to make time. There's no such thing as not having time. Like, even if you got a 9 to 5, you should be working 5 to 9 on your dream or your goal. So I didn't 8 days a week, like you said, but I didn't have the luxury of not having time. I had to make time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of stuff I could be doing today, but I got up at 5, drove here, make this happen. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna go back. And guess what? We're gonna sell some more books.
You know, there's a former Mr. Universe who has 2 sons in the NFL, and he talks about how he conditioned his boys to be like these stellar athletes that don't give up, that don't give in.
Yeah.
It sounds like that was what you taught to Aaron, but where did you get it from?
Yeah, man, that came from where I'm from. #1, I was born in Cabrini Green Housing Projects in Chicago. If you don't know what that is, that's where they film Good Times. We want to go the movie route where they film Hoop Dreams, Candyman, and a few other.
Too, right?
Yep, Cooley High, one of my favorite movies. But it's just the culture where we come from, and then like it's one of the things my dad taught me is like make it happen. Like, and my mentor Rodney always says, women and children have the luxury of making excuses. Not saying that they always do, but men don't have that luxury. If you're a man, you don't make excuses, you make it happen. So, and then going back to what you said about your friend having 2 sons is in the NFL, like what most people don't realize, like kids, they're blank canvas.
Yeah.
Like you can pretty much mold them to be whatever, or just pay attention to what it is that they enjoy doing. But most of the time, especially if it's a son, he's going to do what he sees his father doing.
Yeah. Wow.
Because Aaron never saw me laying in the bed. Guess what? I'm up. I'm getting to it. He never got up and saw me in the bed. He got up. By the time he got up, I was already working. I was already getting to it. And what did Jesus say? I can only do what I see my father do.
Yeah.
If we want to go the biblical route. So that's where fathers need to, make sure that they watching, because their son is going to do exactly what they see them do. So that's where that comes from.
That's good.
So real quick, I want to catch everybody up. The reason we're in a car is because the power's out at the studio. Had a real bad storm this morning. So we improvising. We got Kelly Cole with us hanging out. We're downtown Atlanta. And I wanted to point this out because we're really close to where this whole Trackstarz thing started.
That vehicle that just passed by was where Trackstarz started.
Yeah, we actually started at Radio 1, Hot 107.9 in Atlanta. We were in their studio, stealing drops, putting our show together. Seriously, and this is where the whole idea came from while we were working in, car shows and flying up in clubs and all that kind of stuff. We were like, man, we gotta figure out how to do better. So we are back to where this whole thing started, downtown Atlanta. So I'm happy to bring you down here, bro, just to see.
Yeah, man, it's dope.
See where we got our start.
Love history. That's it, man.
So, man, a question also is, what is it that, how do you get people this information that don't read books? Like, what is something, even like, I know people listen to audiobooks, but what is something that like you could be like, yo, you can still get this information if you don't read books?
Yeah, so if you purchase the book bundle right now that's available, it comes with the audiobook as well. So it comes with the book, the audiobook, a workbook, and then 2 video training. So one is peak mental performance. So some of the things that I taught Aaron on how to lock in when it's time to, time for him to do a show, developing his routine. And another one is affirmations of a father. Like, most people don't realize how important it is for the father to speak over the children and affirm them. Like I said, they're a blank canvas. So I think one of the biggest things is you can give your kids confidence. So as a lot of times you hear me say, Aaron's better than anybody. I'll put his pen against anybody. I'll put him that's me speaking into my child. He's a superstar.
And he believes it.
And he believes it. 100%.
100%.
You can't be no superstar with your head down.
Yeah.
You have to believe that you are who you are. Wow. And but remembering who you're a superstar for. So keeping Christ first, which is why we even started, just to spread the gospel through Christian hip hop.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited about what you guys have coming up next, and especially with all the different business moves that you guys are making. Did you have? I want to ask you this question. I know we talked to you during the pandemic, but did you have any pandemic setbacks that you're trying to bounce back from, or was it business as usual for you?
For me personally, my book publishing company, it was on and popping, because guess what? Everybody was at home.
Yeah.
So everybody that wanted to write a book had time to write a book.
Yeah.
And they had the money to write a book because they was cashing in them PPP loans and everything else. And I was gladly accepted. So I was popping. Now, as far as the business side, like working with Aaron, we lost a lot of money because, as you can imagine, like everything shut down.
Yeah.
All of the shows shut down. We had just re-upped on merch. We was in the middle of a tour when it shut down. So 20-something dates got canceled on the tour. And then our whole summer got canceled. So we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars during the pandemic as far as like the business side with Aaron.
Wow.
So but my business personally,
and
it's popping.
How did you keep him going during that time? Because you said men don't make excuses. So it wasn't an idea that the money wasn't going to come in. It just had to come in a different way.
Correct.
What did that look like?
So then I had to tap into my creativity and give him other opportunities to make money. So most people don't even know this, but Aaron was the first one to charge for a Zoom to do a private listening session for people to hear his songs before they came out.
Oh, wow.
Who gave him that? I gave him that. But then guess what? Everybody started popping up doing it.
Yeah.
But that was like, this is what we can do to get some bread. So it was little stuff like that we did to get bread, pop-up shops with merch. So we just had to be creative with him, getting some bread. We did a couple of virtual events. So that's when that started popping off and people started doing the verses. So it was just all about being creative. So finding a solution. A man finds a solution. He don't make an excuse. And y'all don't know, I was going to go buy a generator if it didn't pop off. But,
we didn't love that.
You know what I'm saying? I was going to go buy a generator, like whatever. Like, y'all let me know. We're going to make it happen. And that's just, how I'm built.
Yeah.
What made you, I know the question is always like, for black men is like, I'm from the hood, I got to make it happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't have that drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you get that drive if you don't have that hard background or that humble beginnings or whatever? Like if it's somebody out there like, I want that drive that he's talking about, but I just don't got it.
I think it connects to, like, if you don't have that, where like me coming from nothing, coming from lack, and like seeing my mom work so hard, which, I lost my mom the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which is why like this book came out now. Like I'm doing every idea that I had, like I'm doing it now because tomorrow's not promised. So that's why at the top of the year I was like, no, I'm dropping the book. I'm not waiting. I'm doing it. But if you don't have that, I think that drive is connected to your purpose, like finding your gift and your purpose. Because once you find your gift and your purpose, it's going to give you that drive because it's what you want to do. If you haven't found your gift, you haven't found your purpose, it's going to be hard for you to have that grit and that grind. Now, Aaron has it related only to music. He'll stay in the studio for 5 days straight, no sleep.
Wow.
I asked that joker to paint a house. No, you're not getting that same drive. But writing, performing, tour, like anything related to his gift, his purpose, he's going to do that full force. Yeah. No problems. So I think you have to tap into whatever that gift and that purpose is that you have, and that's going to give you that drive.
All right, so since we got you, I wanted to get your take on some hot topics that we were going to discuss today. All right. So have you heard about Blac Chyna and her transformation? Mm-hmm. What do you think about it? Have you seen some of the interviews she's done? And
I haven't saw the interviews, but I saw like some pictures and a couple of clips that I think is dope, man. Yeah. I really love that because you don't see it as much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to say who this person is. It's funny you brought her up, but I know this, and this guy was a Christian hip hop artist, and he, as a Christian, was very, very unhappy. If you was ever around this cat, he was cool, but he wasn't happy. Does that make sense? Like he was just an unhappy, like just not mean, very cool dude. He just wasn't happy. Never really smiled. He stopped being a Christian. He's the happiest I've ever seen him in his life. And I was like, God, shouldn't it be the opposite? Because if I saw him as a Christian, I wouldn't want nothing to do with that. But now people will look at him and say, yo, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, he get more question about, more attention now that he's not following Christ than he did when he was following Christ. Like, he draws more people to him now. So it was funny, I was having this conversation on the way here. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what that is. Bringing it back to your question. Like, I think it's dope because what is it doing? It's getting the gospel out. It's that God still can convert. He can still, redeem people. Like, he's still in a working business. So, yeah, I think it's dope. I like it.
So if you guys don't know, Blac, what's her actual name now? Angela. Well,
Angela
it's always
White.
been Angela White. She had a Baphomet tattoo. She got removed. She took out all her fillers and injections, and she got baptized. So she's really she doesn't. She's trying to. She looks normal, like a normal person now. So my thing with her though is she's doing a lot of interviews, so I'm a little nervous because if you actually gave your life to Christ, there's some value in disappearing and just being with God. And I just, if we knew her, that's the only thing I feel like I would say is like, just chill for a second, let it sink in, because there's gonna be challenges with this too. So I don't want you to get all the way out there going everywhere saying I'm this Christian, and then you have a setback, and then now it's like, oh, see. So that's the only thing. Just get yourself plugged in somewhere that have people that love you, that will help build you up, guard you from attacks, because you're such a public face that people are waiting to take you out. They're waiting for you to mess up. So just take some time and just dig in deep.
And I hope she's in a good church too. Like, I think that plays a key too in your development as a Christian. Once you get into a Bible believing church, or a church that's not enamored with you being Blac Chyna, but more worried about you being who God called you to be. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing that why so many celebrities who come in this, they fall or mess up and they go back is because their church was like either hitting them up for money all the time or just using their celebrity to get more people in. And it's like, we just got to start because I feel like it's a harvest time. Like, it's weird to me, and I was telling this to my wife. I was like, I just feel like more and more celebrities, especially like younger celebrities on our side, like the Black side, I'm starting to see more and more of them talk about God, seeing them talk about Jesus and talk about like Jesus, my savior, and all this stuff. So I'm like, yo, the harvest is coming, or it is here, and we got to be ready for that, and we got to be ready to like help people walk through the process of not being perfect, but walking so God can walk through that process of sanctification. You know what I mean? So I just think people got to understand what it is and understand that you're gonna mess up. These things are gonna happen. Some stuff some nights your flesh may be on fire. You know what I mean? Or you may be tempted heavy, and that's just the enemy. You know what I'm saying? You got to know the difference. And I think that's one of the things that my prayer for her is that one, she don't get thrown in the limelight too quick, but two, that she takes time and really walk out her faith.
Yeah, and I'm worried. It's hard to change your association when you are this public figure and everybody you hang around and your in-laws are pretty much the Kardashians. How do you get away from that limelight? How do you get away from those influencers and people that just want to be around you because of your old lifestyle? And then, just making sure that this is something that you can, turn away from. You know, I read on the article that she turned away her $240 million valued OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
And that's huge. You know, when you're talking about money and you're talking about influence and other people, that's a huge step to take back. And so I just hope that it doesn't come, you know, and I hope it doesn't happen too fast and too soon for her to be looking up one day like, well, now how am I going to make a living? You know, or how am I going to take care of these kids? And I mean, she's still got, you know,
lifestyle to uptown.
Yeah, she does, but you know, she also has children with two popular guys who have money as well. So hopefully she'll, you know, get on the right path of, you know, getting them taken care of properly as well. So
no, but when I say lifestyle obtain, I mean like I think people think I'm talking about the lifestyle she's living. I'm talking about the lifestyle that of her house, her car. That's what I'm saying. Like
I knew you were talking about.
Yeah, because I mean I think sometimes people think lifestyle of something else, but I'm talking about like her personal life. Like she comes from like having money, so you know what I mean. And I'm guessing if she's willing to sacrifice all that, then
you know, if she can get back to that money, she can come publish her book through Kelly Cole.
That's it.
Get all that money back.
Definitely, she can definitely write a book about it. But that's when that faith gonna have to kick in.
Yeah.
Because you know you're gonna go through in order to exercise that faith.
So next up, Jonathan Majors. Did you hear about that situation?
No, who's that?
Jonathan Majors is currently playing Kang. Hopefully, he ain't getting arrested here. Currently playing Kang in the Marvel Universe. He was in Creed 3. He was in.
I know you're talking about that.
Yeah. So over the weekend, he got picked up and arrested for domestic violence against his girlfriend. The lawyer said, "Hey, she recanted her story. It's all good. He didn't do anything wrong." But then the lawyer released the text messages that happened between the young lady and him. And in the text messages, she says, "Hey, it's my fault. I didn't mean to." But she also says things that sound kind of like what domestic abuse survivors say. Like, "It was my fault. I shouldn't have taken your phone." You know, that kind of thing. Like, is it really that she's saying she didn't do it? Or is she just scared that she's going to lose her lifestyle and, you know, that whole thing?
I think she's scared of losing her lifestyle and losing him. Especially if she's saying stuff like that.
So this could be really bad for your boy. So
also really bad. He lost some deals behind that. The thing I don't like about that though is immediately when something happens, they don't do no research.
Yeah.
Whoever's a sponsor, whatever, they just cut ties with you. Kind of like the Michael Irvin thing.
Yeah.
Like they were able to prove that he was innocent. But I hope my man is innocent. Like, but stuff like that, you don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I think something did happen. She's regretting making it public or making the call.
Dang, you think so?
Something happened.
If that's the case, then he's done. All right, so right now we're by Georgia Tech. This is also kind of where everything started, Ryan.
Yeah.
In my dorm room over here.
Dorms fasting.
Yeah, a lot of this is history. We're driving past.
All y'all seen Creed 3?
No.
I did.
No?
It was great.
It was great. I felt like it was a little rushed though.
Exactly.
It was a little rushed.
Exactly.
How do you go from? How do you have?
We're about to
I don't care.
Wait. But I'll say that I'll skip that. But the guy who played the young Creed, he's a up and coming star as well. Papa J. Y'all heard of him?
I think
that boy can sing, rap, act. But he played the young Creed in Creed 3.
Gotcha.
I interviewed his dad too. So one of the bonuses, when they get the book bundle, they get some called Fatherhood Chats, where I had conversations with fathers of superstars.
Wow.
So I interviewed him. I just interviewed Tim Hardaway and then Carlos Boozer. So Carlos Boozer, you know, both his sons are killing it in basketball.
Wow.
But I'm also having talks with Matthew Knowles. We're supposed to set it up.
Oh, okay.
King Richard. So all of like fathers of superstars are called Fatherhood Chats. But you get that as a bonus if you buy the book bundle.
Oh yeah,
that's dope.
Everybody want to know, is the book on Amazon yet?
No, you can only get the book bundle on pre-order at www.raisingaaroncole.com. I don't even know if I'm going to put it on Amazon.
Cut the middleman out and get all the cheddar.
Get all the bread. But yeah, you get the book bundle, you get all the bonuses, and you get it in all of the formats too. So you get the the paperback, you get the digital, you get the audio book, you get the workbook, the 2 trainings, and all of the bonuses too. So that's the way to go.
Wow. How do you? Here's a good question for you, bro. How do you get these connections? Like, what is something that, like, you know, if people like, man, I want to interview someone for my book, or I want to interview somebody for my radio show. Like, what's ways to get connected to these people that you think people may think is very hard to get connected to?
DM. It goes down in the DM.
Okay.
Every one of those I just named, I DM. So like, the guy Papa J, his sons in Creed 3, DM'd them. Tim Hardaway, DM. Carlos Boozer, DM.
I guess let me tell you why. I'm gonna speak for maybe some people out there. Yeah. I would just assume nobody would even look at this.
Listen to me. I can show you. I can show you proof.
So here's a question for you.
What's up?
When you DM them, are you wowing them first?
Nope. I'm gonna show you exactly what I say. I'm gonna read the one.
Y'all write this down. This is
Tim Hardaway.
This is big.
Well, no, Carlos Boozer. Here we go. Mr. Boozer, I'm currently working on a project highlighting the importance of a father and helping their children fulfill their purpose and destiny. Are you available anytime to do a quick Zoom interview? Would only take 15-20 minutes. He said, text me, we'll set it up, and put his number.
Wow.
That's it.
That is
and you don't follow him. I mean, well, you follow
I followed him first, then I sent the DM.
Got you.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't following him before I sent the DM.
Got you. So the question for somebody out there, so
they don't have to be, they not following me.
Got you. Because that's the thing.
They followed me after. Like, after we connected, and then we, had a talk or whatever, then they follow me, they give me my number, and then we build a relationship. But then also I think about, like, who do I know who knows who I need to know? So I have a friend named Matt. He used to be the manager of 1K Few. And I was like, Matt may know King Richard. I was like, yo, you got to connect on King Richard. He was like, yeah, I know his former driver. Here's his number.
Okay, we're going to hit Matt back.
That's how you do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I think about who knows who I need to know. And then I just connect and I ask questions and be like, yo, yeah, this is his manager. I mean, his former driver and stuff like that. And then I think about who knows Matthew knows. Okay, my boy used to know somebody signed to his label. Text them. So, but DM works, cold email works. Like, you'll be surprised. That's how I interviewed the Sharks. But just DM, do anything you can, and then I'll follow up.
That lady?
Who was that?
Barbara.
No, Barbara Cook. I just sent a cold email. A cold email. Say, hey, Barbara, I'm working on a project. I would love to interview you. Do you have any time? Be quick, 30 minutes or so. And she responded instantly. She was like, yeah, I would love to. I have something this day. We got on the interview. We hit it off. I was like, Barbara, you'll help me get an interview with Damon? She was like, sure. Put me and Damon in a group text. But it's just, you'd be surprised. I tweeted this the other day. You'd be surprised what you'll get if you just asked. Like, a lot of times people won't send that DM. And guess what? Tim Hardaway, I DM'd him 3 times. You gonna see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eventually, like, if I catch you at the right time. And here's another thing I use. If I notice you just posted on your story or something like that, you got your phone in your hand. I'll reply to your story. I'll do something to get your attention, but eventually you're gonna reply. And if they don't, they don't. But I'm gonna email, I'm gonna DM, I'm gonna tweet, I'm gonna comment, I'm gonna do whatever to get, like I said, I'm gonna make excuses, I make it happen.
So you just can't be, I think what people in the comments are talking about, kind of like being afraid of that no. You know what I'm saying? So
can't be afraid of that.
Yeah. You just gotta go and do it.
I mean, some people will say no. They'll say they don't have time right now. That means just not right now. But you got to be ready when that time does come.
Do you have anybody helping you with your business at all?
My business? Yeah, I have a team. So but that part, like the reaching out, that's all me. Yeah, I have, editors, graphic designers, all team and all of that. But as far as reaching out.
How many streams of income do you currently have?
That I speak about? I own a book publishing company. That's my main stream of income. I take the money from book publishing and I buy real estate. That's my passive stream of income. And everything I do with Aaron is for the love. All of the other stuff is just passive streams of income that I do as fun that I don't speak about.
Gotcha.
But those are my 3.
So when you talk about real estate, is it cluttered right now with so many people trying to do real estate?
No, it's wide open now because so many people are not buying because of the interest rates are higher. So you got to think about it. When the interest rates was low, everybody was trying to buy, so which raised the prices to everything. Now, so many people are sitting on so much stuff because the interest rates are so higher that you can do off the market deals. Like my first off the market deal, I bought 2 houses and 4 acres of land for $130K.
Is that cold emails too?
No, that was me just reaching out, meeting people. Met a guy who was ready to sell. So think about people that's ready to retire, has, portfolios, like everything is for sale. Or if somebody don't want it, they don't know they want to sell until they make an offer.
Now, what if you're not into real estate, but you're like, I don't want to flip houses? Is there any other form of real estate that you can do that?
Oh, I buy and hold. I don't flip.
Okay.
So think about it like this, like I buy and hold. So meaning rents. One of my tenants paid their rent last night, and I live for free basically because my tenant pays the mortgage. So think about it like that. So my goal, I want 100 units. So think about that. If you got 100 units paying you a minimum of $1,000 a month, that's $100K a month gross to wake up on the first.
Yeah.
So that's my mindset. Some people don't need that much to live, which I don't, but that's just my goal.
People interested in that. Do you listen to like bigger podcasts? Like what?
Sure. Now, here's another thing. You buy the book bundle and you take the upsell. I got a book that hasn't been released yet. You can only get it if you buy the upsell when you buy the book bundle, but it's called How to Win in Life, and I teach that whole process of how to get into that.
You talk about that.
The whole thing. And it's simply breaking down how to get in the real estate game. Like if you played Monopoly before, you can understand it.
Yeah.
So like if y'all play Monopoly, what's the 2 properties everybody want to own? Boardwalk and Park Place. So Park Place, if you put a hotel on it, do y'all know how much you get if somebody land on it? $1,500. So when I teach it, I say, okay, everybody want to own Park Place. Let me show you my Park Place. This is my Park Place. They pay me $1,500 to stay here. So breaking it down that simple and it stands for how to will, so finding your work. So life is simply about finding your work, investing the money from your work, and then living off the money from the investment. Because you want to get to the point to where you don't have to live off your money that you work for. Right? You want your money to work for you.
Right.
Which is what we wasn't taught. I wasn't taught that.
No.
You get what I'm saying? So it hasn't been released yet. You can only get it if you buy the upsell. It's called How to Will. But wait a minute, that book is on Amazon, but it's like $85.
We have one of our team members. Let's talk about off the market deals, please. How do I do that?
Off the market deals, the best way to do that is like go to, like if you're let's see, off the market deals. What's the best way I can tell you? Your local clubs, like your Rotary clubs, stuff like that. Just start asking people, do they know anybody selling a house off the market? And a lot of the older people, they just don't want them anymore. Another one. The newspaper. So obituaries. You find out somebody passed away, find out what property they own, contact their kids. Hey, what are y'all going to do with this house?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, pay attention to what's going on around you. Like, a lot of times people post, like, on social media when somebody passed. Find out what they're going to do with their house. A lot of times the kid don't even want the house. The kid don't even live in the same city or the state where the parent was or the grandparent. So, off the market, this is all about asking and paying attention to what's going on. Where if you ever seen those people that put out those signs, we buy houses and stuff, that's all they're doing. People who are in distress, people are getting a divorce. Like, somebody getting a divorce, guess what? They're going to be selling their house. See what they want to sell it. And a lot of times they'll sell it for less than because they just want to get out of it. Young type to talk about stuff I never talk about. I love talking about it. I love talking about it.
You may have sparked some people to want to buy your stuff, man. It's the whole I love the guys who do Earn Your Leisure because they really give you a good idea of especially people like us that don't hear things like this. How to think about money the right way. I definitely want to see you on there.
Yeah, definitely. I went to Invest Fest, but that's one of my goals. I want to be on Earn Your Leisure. I want to speak at Invest Fest because that's the stuff like we really need to know about. Like you said, like life is about finding your work, whatever that work is. Like y'all got Trackstarz. Okay, the money you make from Trackstarz, you should be investing into something that's gonna make you money. You should be living off the investment. Like most people don't even know what it costs to live their dream life. Like when I go teach this, I went and taught this to a basketball school. A basketball team, a women's basketball team called Leeds McRae College. And the stuff that I showed them, they was like, yo, nobody ever taught. Even the coaches was like, yo, if I would have knew this, I was like, yo, it don't take a lot. All you got to do is save money from that you're working, put it in an investment account, and wait for an investment to happen. Like most people don't even know with an FHA loan, you only need 3.5% down to get a house, get an investment property. So I taught them, I said, listen, if you're I was like, you're a young lady, you're 18 years old. I said, I would be saving as much money as I can so I can buy my first property. With an FHA loan, you can get up to a 4-unit. Live in one, rent the other 3. You only got to stay in there for 1 year, okay? Do it for 1 year, then get another one. Guess what? In 2 years, you'll have 8 units, making you $8,000 a month passively. Then you can take that $8,000 a month you're making passively and buy a house that you want, drive the car you want to drive, and you can be living the way that you want to live. And if you do your work and you have your passion, guess what? You don't even have to do nothing with that money but save it for more investments. But I break all of that down in that book.
Yeah.
But wait. Let me say one more thing. Just imagine if you had a spouse or a partner and y'all both did it, and in 2 years y'all got 16 units instead of 8. But nobody teaches us that.
Well, I think the thing is too is people I think they're scared of that responsibility of, okay, what happens in that house? What happens if that go down? These people come to see me, and I don't want that responsibility. They just want the money. They don't want the responsibility.
You got life is about responsibility. You got the responsibility anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be. Here's the thing. You're in real estate, whether you know it or not. You're just on one side of the cash register or the other. I like being on this side of the cash register. I like my Venmo going off saying, yo, April ring. I'm on this side of the cash register. You're in real estate. You're just on one side of the cash register or the other one. Yeah. It's that simple. But I got a property manager, so they don't even deal with me. If something breaks, they hit the property manager. They don't have to. They don't bother me.
Right. And then this is another question. I know I watched you speak at a retreat for MB Sports, and you talked about how easy it was to just write a book in a weekend.
Yeah.
I know that was something that you know, that was a lot of jewels and a lot of sauce you gave out, but can you just give us some particulars around that?
Yeah, so the people who missed what I said at first, you just simply start out with your outline.
Yeah.
So write the numbers 1 through 10. Then you want to write down next to each number just a story or whatever you want to cover in your book. So 10 stories or 10 topics. All right. Next thing you want to do is underneath each chapter title, you want to write 5 to 10 questions someone would have about that chapter title.
That's right.
Right? And then you take those questions and you hit up your homeboy or hit up somebody and say, hey, I need you to interview me and ask me these questions. Record the interview, have it transcribed, go to rev.com. They'll transcribe it in 24 to 48 hours, and you got a document that you can put together, and you basically got the bones to your book. And then after you get that part, you call me, and we'll take it from there. We'll edit it, format it, book cover, distribution, the whole 9.
Oh, we got you. All right, well,
literally, we have so much content out right now. We could just go through our old shows, grab all the wisdom we've said over the years, and compile that into a book. I mean, we've already written a book on air.
Yep, definitely, 100%. Like, y'all know Lewis Howes, School of Greatness? Y'all ever heard of him? But yeah, if y'all ever heard him, that's what his new book is. He's interviewed everybody, and all he did was extract the knowledge he got from everybody. So your Damon Johns, he's interviewed everybody. Anybody you can think of, he's interviewed them. Denzel, whoever. He's extracted all of the knowledge and turned that into a book. Yeah. But yeah, your book is, most people don't even know, your book is already done. You just got to extract from that.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
How do you weed through all of the trash? Like, as you know, business owners, we get a ton of like, hey, we heard you, we're looking for this, or hey, such and such, we want the Forbes business, whatever, hit me up and said, hey, don't you want to write a book? We can help you. How do you know what's real and what's not? How do you know what's a real opportunity and what's not?
For me, I can basically, because I've been doing it so long, I go look at the page, I go look at the website, I go look at the history, I go look at, how long this page has been active. Like, I basically can tell just simply by looking at it. Because I've been doing it so long. Now, have I got before? Yep. I got because one day I was desperate to find an illustrator for a book project, and somebody DM'd me and said, yo, you need any illustrations? I was like, yeah, I need this book illustrated. And they was like, all right. I sent them the book, and they was like, yeah, we'll do it for $250. And I was like, nah. And then they was like, well, just put a $50 down deposit, and then we'll design the first few pages. We'll go from there. I was like, all right, cool. Sent them the money. They blocked me, deleted me, and took my bread. But I ain't deal with that no more. I had to learn that lesson in order to go through it. So yeah, you just know by doing your research and been doing it.
You know what's funny about that, and how ironic it is if they hadn't taken your $50, they probably could have made about $500.
Oh, more.
Or more with you.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you this question too, because
they probably can't do what he asked.
No, it was a straight scam.
Yeah.
Like, no, for real. Like all those people that you see hit you up to do graphics, they scams. That's how they get the bread. Like I saw it on there was a show, I think it's on Showtime, where the guys, they covered their faces, but then they told you all of the Instagram scams. They told you all of the guys, they slide in their DMs and pretend that they're women and get them to send them money for plane tickets and all of that, and they actually do it. Like I know somebody who got that way. Like, yo, man, and they threatened to expose one of my authors. They were getting scammed. They was like, yo, I got some stuff going on with one of your authors. And I was like, which one? And then I hit them up and I was like, yo, you know this person? And he's like, yeah, they trying to scam me out of $3,000. They want me to send them $3,000 or they're going to expose me. And I was like, call their bluff, tell them to expose you. I was like, but I wouldn't send them the money. And then they eventually deleted the account or whatever. So it's all kind of scams out there. But yeah, it was a straight scam. They wasn't doing no graphics. They just figured out how to get money. We
get hit up a lot about investors, right? What are your thoughts about venture capitalists coming to you, angel investors, about, hey, Trackstarz, we see what you're doing, da-da-da-da. Like, what's your thought about, investors coming into your space?
Do your due diligence, man.
Okay.
And if you don't need the money, don't take the money.
Gotcha.
If you don't have something, like, only way I would take an investment is if I'm working on something and I need some capital in order to produce this investment. So, like, people have offered before Aaron, like, I think 3 years in, they offered to buy Aaron's catalog at where it was. And he was like, nah, we good. Like, there's nothing we trying to do right now that we need a lump sum investment.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. So people are buying, like, that threw me for a loop. Christian hip-hop catalogs, too? Like,
y'all want an exclusive?
Yeah.
Toby bought all of Lecrae's now. Toby owns a lot of Lecrae them stuff.
Are you serious?
Go look on YouTube. Go look at the credits and all that. Toby bought their early catalogs. I don't know from what point to what point, but Toby owns a lot of that. A lot of Reach stuff.
We get an interview with him.
Toby Mac, that would be a little bit harder, but yeah, Toby, you want, if y'all ever get a chance to interview Toby is a businessman. Hey. When I tell you, Toby has so many.
To Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah. Toby is a businessman. Like every time I'm around Toby, I'm quiet or I'm asking questions. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Like I've been in a lunch with just me and Toby where a lady ran up to him and begged him, can she rent one of his commercial units? And she was like, I will pay you whatever you want. And she was like, what are you offering right now? He was like, well, right now it's renting for $8,000 a month. She was like, I'll pay you more than that. It was just me and him at a lunch at a Greek restaurant.
Wow.
So you talking about business? Like Toby owns so much stuff that it's crazy.
Man, thank you for hanging out with us, bro.
Yeah.
Tell them one more time where to find you, how to support you.
Hey, go get the book, Raising Aaron Cole. Pre-order right now.
Hopefully you guys are listening. If you're not, then you're losing.